Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to this edition of Mr. Wood's fantastic math class. So today, working a little bit on some conversions, word problems and conversions, SAT formatted, so trying to figure out how to read them a little bit carefully. All right, here we go. All right, so for number one, the first thing we always want to do is figure out, or really all these type of questions, is figure out what is it really wanting me to answer. So starting with our question. So we always want to start with what is the question. So here it says at most, how many 20-ounce bottles, so we want to know how many bottles really can be filled from the tank. So I do know that, so it tells me that one bottle is equal to 20 ounces. Okay, so that much I do know. One bottle is equal to 20 ounces. We want to know how many of these 20-ounce bottles can be filled up. Well, it also says here that we're starting, companies filling from a soda from a tank that contains 500 gallons. So I know I'm starting with a tank that has 500 gallons. So we're emptying stuff out of this 500-gallon tank. So I know I'm starting with 500 gallons, and we want to be able to start converting. So it says that 1 gallon is equal to 128 ounces. So since we have gallons up here in the top, the only way we could cancel out would be to put gallons in the bottom. So 1 gallon would be here. That would be then 128 ounces. That way gallons cancels gallons, and I can move forward from there. Okay. Well, it also tells me, because these are all answers in terms of bottles, so it says that 1 bottle is equal to 20 ounces. So since I have ounces in the top, we could put ounces in the bottom. So 20 ounces would go here, and that would be for 1 bottle. Okay, and now we can work out our math. Well, what does the math look like? It would be 500 times 128 times 1. Those are all the things in the top, divided by 1 times 20, so or just 20. So when I work that out, it is going to give me 3,200, and that is our answer for number 1. All right, so number 2 here, we're starting with some kind of pipe. So here's a pipe that we're starting with, and it says that this pipe is 2 yards long. So, well, if that's 2 yards long, and we got to cut 18 inches away. Well, how do I do that? Well, I would need to convert yards into inches. So to figure out what I got to cut off. So how long is this pipe in inches? So we know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. And I also know that 1 foot is 12 inches. So that way yard cancels yard, feet cancels feet, and I'm left with inches. So how long was this pipe at the very beginning? Well, it would be 2 times 3 times 12. So this pipe at the very beginning was 72 inches long. Okay, but now we got to take this pipe and I got to cut a certain amount off. So we got to take this pipe and we got to cut off 18 inches. So how long is our new pipe? So, well, if I take the 72 inches that it was, we're going to take away 18 inches, right? Cutting away this 18 inches part, right? Taking that away, our new pipe is now 54 inches long. Well, what does the question ask us? Well, we want to know how long is the pipe after he's cut it off in feet. How long is this pipe after I've cut it off? So we know the 54 inches is my cut piece. So that's my cut pipe or my cut piece. Well, how long is that in feet? Well, we take our feet, our inches, and now I can convert to feet. I know it's 12 inches for every 1 foot. And what does this mean? 54 times 1. And then the bottom, divide by 12. And we get 4.5 feet. And there's my answer for number 2. Okay, looking at 3 here. First off, let's figure out, once again, what does our question actually want us to know? According to the geologist's estimate, how long will it take in years? So we want to know years. For the country's beaches to erode by 21 feet. Well, I need something with years. Here it says it is 1.5 feet per year. Well, that I can look at like a conversion factor. I know it's 1.5 feet has got to equal 1 year of erosion, right? So if I'm starting off, how far? Well, 21 feet. How long would it take? Well, it says it's 1.5 feet for every 1 year. Right? So what does that mean? 21 times 1 divide by 1.5, or 21 divide by 1.5 tells me that it would take 14 years. And that is all she wrote on that. Alrighty, number 4. So this particular problem, once again, let's figure out what does the question want me to answer. It says how many gallons per day. So I want to know how many gallons in 1 day can the hose release. So I know I need some kind of unit that deals with gallons, right? And let's see, what else do I know in the problem? A garden hose is able to fill a gallon container in 20 seconds. So that means that 1 gallon would equal 20 seconds. So 1 gallon of the hose is going to be completely full. So it takes 20 seconds for 1 gallon to be completely full. And it says a homeowner actually left his hose on for a full day. So if I have a full day, we know a full day would be 24 hours. So I can say, well, if I left the hose on for 24 hours, what is that going to look like in terms of gallons? Well, here I see the only time gallon is related would be seconds. So somehow I got to get the hours to be related to seconds, right? So we know we're converting between hours and seconds. So that way I can go to gallons. So we do know conversion factor of 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And I do also know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Well, now I have seconds, so that way hours cancels hours, minute cancels minute, and we have seconds. Well, we'll have a conversion now that can get me from seconds to gallons. So let's convert between seconds and gallons. Well, it says there's 20 seconds is 1 gallon. So what does that math look like? Well, it says 24 times 60 times 60 divided by 20. So divided by 20 is going to be my final answer. So 24 times 60 divided by 20 gives me my final answer of 4,320 gallons in 1 day. All right, so there's 4. All right, 5. It says Utica Boilermaker Salute. Anyway, let's first look and kind of follow our general philosophy. Let's see, what does the question want me to answer? Which runs are at least 15 kilometers? So what is it wanting me to do? It's wanting me to convert all of these to kilometers. So that way I can compare. Right? You can't compare miles to kilometers. I can't compare feet to kilometers. I can't compare yards to kilometers unless I make them the same. So let's go through and do that process and make them the same. Okay? So starting first with the 10 miles. So if I start with 10 miles, how do I convert that to kilometers? Well, it says that there is, for every 1 mile, it said it was 1.609 kilometers. Right? That was just a conversion factor that was given to us. So that math I can work out and gives us 16.09 kilometers, or 10 times 1.609. So I know this is 16.09 kilometers. All right, so for the other one here, we got 44,880 feet, and we need to convert that to kilometers. All right, so let's see, how do I do that? Well, I know there's 5,280 feet is equivalent to 1 mile. So that way feet cancels feet. And now I got to go from miles to kilometers. So I do know that 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometers. Let's see, what does that math look like? Well, it's 44,880 times 1.609 would be the numbers on the top. And on the bottom, or denominator, 5,280, and we can get our answer. All right, so for for part 3 here, it says it's 15,560 yards, and I want to convert that to kilometers. So we got to go, right? We know 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. I know that it's 5,280 feet for 1 mile. And I know for every 1 mile, it's equal to 1.609 kilometers. So this would be then 5,560 would be on the top. Also numerator is a 3, and also numerator 1.609. And the only denominator I have is the 5,280. So now I can just divide that out. So and that gives me 14.22 kilometers. So in this case, the only one that was more than 15 is the 10-mile run. So the answer here is part A is A. All right, looking at those answer choices. All right, so last one that we're going to look at is number 7. So first off, once again, let's figure out what does the question want me to answer. It says, how many entire study hall periods? So how many study hall periods will I need to read the entire book? So I'm looking for some form of study hall period. So how many study hall periods does it take? So really what I start keying in on is, where do I see these words? Where do I see study hall periods? Well, it says up here I see study hall period. So a 45-minute study hall period each day. So that's going to tell me that one day, every day, I have a 45-minute study hall. So I can say one day is equal to 45-minute study hall periods. Okay? And it says we're a 720-page book. And it also says Sarah will read 40 pages of the book per hour. So one other conversion, it says, well, there's 40 pages. It's going to take me 1 hour. So that's a conversion factor. So 40 pages takes me 1 hour. Well, if I start off with a 720-page book, I need to convert that into periods. How long does it take me for a study hall period? Or how how many days does it take me to read this book? Okay, well, if it's 720 pages, the only other place I see pages I can convert to hours. So this would be 40 pages. That way they would cancel. Takes 1 hour. And the only other place I see conversions would be minutes and days. So I got to somehow get the hours into minutes. So I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. That way hours cancels hours. And it says that we're taking 45 minutes to read this book every 1 day. So that way minutes cancels minutes, and we're left with days. So when you do all the math, you're going to do 720 times 60. So 720 times 60 divided by 40 times 45, and we get our answer. So this says it's going to take 24 days. Right? So 24 days to do that, to read that entire book, and that would be our answer there for 7. All right, so hopefully this was helpful and get you ready for upcoming said quiz. Good luck and see you on the